There's a rip. There's a base hit to right by Harms. Martin's coming around. We got the cut, no throw, and Eagan does get that first run of the game. So even though they saw Lockenmeyer get thrown out at third, which we thought was maybe potentially a rally-killing opportunity by Eagan Wildcats, a big clutch hit by Harms. That's his third hit of the season.
Yeah, that was well timed on his part.
Yeah.
Able to bring the run home, get him off to a good start.
Yeah, and there we saw that replay. Found that hole between first and second. Obviously, it always helps when the first baseman's holding on, right? Because that hole gets even that much bigger. Alrighty, so now we got the right fielder coming up. It's Sam Schachtman. And I know Sham's got plenty of experience too. I remember seeing him play as a sophomore too. Outside corner is in there for a strike on the knees. And it looks like Baker's definitely trying to pitch, low and away, which is, kind of what all pitchers are trying to do, right? But you haven't really seen him go inside on too many hitters. I know he maybe came inside once, I think, on Amin in the first. Right. Maybe that strike 3 pitch. Looks like that was maybe a little bit of slider. Looks like he took something off there. So now it's 0-2 to Schachtman. And Sam is 4 for 10 on the year. So we call that the Teddy Ball game, right? The old 400.
Exactly.
And there's strike 3, so it doesn't matter about on these stolen base opportunities. So Eagan they leave 2, but they do get 1, and they take the lead here at 1-0 early on. They had two hits, 2 walks, 2 stolen bases. So they just want to play the game of 2s today, right?
2s went wild in the top half of the first inning. For
shaking dice tonight, you go for 2s. So we'll give you here a quick rundown, or I will, of what we can see from the Lakeville North lineup, as we didn't really get a chance to chime in about Eagan's starting lineup early on, as I'm trying to get my monitor figured out here, which is going to be a job all day. But anyways, we'll go down the list here. So for Lakeville North, you know what, Blair? You read it. You take it away from me. You got the names right in front of you.
I'll take it for you.
The
batting order for Lakeville, leading off is going to be Tanner Riccio. He's going to be playing shortstop. Will Arnott playing in right field. He'll bat second. The catcher, Tyler Wambacher, is going to hit third.
Left to right.
Panthers are going to use a designated hitter. That's going to be Alec Bayless. Number 10, Garrett Long will be the 5th batter, playing in the 5th position on the infield.
Behind the plate,
at third base, Joe Grillo, the first baseman, bats 6th. Josh Haugen will hit 7th. Nolan Johnson batting 8th and playing in left field. And Ryan Brodeen, sorry about that, Ryan, is in center field wearing number 2.
Alrighty, perfect. So there you go. Lovely job by Blair. Like I said, I'm going to try to keep the stats. I got to toggle on my iPad back and forth, but we'll make it work. I don't have any pitching stats for Eagan, so we'll get that for the next broadcast, but we do have hitting, so we'll chime that in. But as we mentioned, we're going to have Lincoln Berry, the senior, on the mound today, and he's going to be throwing to his catcher, which is Charlie Steffen, and that's going to be your battery right away here for Eagan. So obviously, as we said, Lincoln is obviously a veteran basically of Eagan baseball. He was an everyday starter as a sophomore. Didn't pitch a lot though that year, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
Mainly just kind of kept him at third. So leading off right away is going to be the shortstop, and that's going to be number 3, Tanner Recchio. So you can hear the PA guy in the background. He's got a little bit more grizzled voice than I do. But Barry's first pitch is going to be low and outside for ball 1.
We can check our pronunciations that way, though.
Exactly. I like it. I don't want mothers or fathers mad at me tonight. Fastball once again just on the outside corner. So he's obviously nibbling and working that outside corner here a little bit early on. And he gets his first strike of the day.
It's a nice pitch. Right where you like to put him. He can live there all day and have a lot of success.
And we got a fall back. So 2-2. So nice job by Barry coming back here after he started off. And he wasn't missing by much on those first 2 pitches. Like I said, lovely day. The interesting thing we talked about is the wind will be a factor. So whether it's pop flies in the infield, Recchio just gets a little bit there, stays alive. But yeah, I think it's going to be communication will be key, right? Like any game, Blair.
Oh sure. Yeah, if you get something up in the air, it's going to move around a lot, and you got to try to get to a spot and not try to play the ball so much.
And wow, and Recchio just goes down to the basement level for that one. Hits a little 9. Well, I don't even know if it's like a 2-iron, right? Right up the middle, got underneath Barry's glove and found a hole up the middle. So Recchio on first base after a nice at bat, falling off a few pitches, and that's going to bring up now the right fielder, number 11, and that's going to be Will Arndt. So we'll see how Lakeville wants to play early on too. Play for the beginning, play a little small ball. First time coming inside by either pitcher for ball 1.
Not really sure what kind of move Mr. Barry's got, but you would expect that you've got some speed at first base from the top of the lineup.
Yep, there it is. That was actually a pretty good move.
He did just check him, and he came awfully close.
Yeah. Yeah, and the beauty thing is we're kind of spoiled because Eagan does such a nice job with all their cameras. I mean, we have all these angles that you wouldn't really expect at a high school game. We got, I think, 4 camera angles here today. One along first base line, one along third base just past the dugout, one right down the middle and center. So you get to look at our ugly mugs, and I think my mom still likes it. So
let's hope they don't utilize that one too
exactly. Don't zoom in on us. Curveball up high for a strike. Throw's gonna be in the center. Recchio's gonna stay. So both teams are testing the catcher here early, Blair.
Yeah, and why not?
Yeah.
Just to see, early in the season, early in the game, you want to check and see what you're up against. Pitchers are trying to find out just how wide the strike zone is and how high and how low. And, and we'll check catcher's arms too, just to see what we were up against.
Fastball hit out to left. That's going to drop in too. Recchio's probably going to be staying at third. Yep, they're playing for the beginning. First and third, so base hit there by Arndt, and that's going to bring up now the catcher. And that's going to be number 9, a senior, Tyler Wambacher.
That single didn't have a whole lot on it, but had just enough to get down and do the job for him.
Yeah, it actually kind of looked like the way that the ball was hit. It teased Haig out there and left a little bit, right? He kind of, which is fine. I mean, he froze, but at first I thought maybe he could come in and get it, but it still dropped obviously about 15 feet in front of him. So curveball just misses low on the outside corner. 1-0 is our count here early on. 1-0 is our score. Eagan is up. They put together a nice little rally here with 2 outs in the bottom of the first after Lockenmeyer tried to steal third and got thrown out from second. So they actually kind of made do with what was looking like they weren't going to really be seeing much there in that first inning. But now you got the Panthers are looking on the prowl here as well as first and third, nobody out. Wambacher up and just missed them. So 2-0. I would say that, as a pitcher myself and a former pitcher, I mean, you have to be able to utilize the whole plate. And I know that, at least what he's doing, what Barry's doing is he's not afraid to come inside, but he's just having a hard time kind of finding that square box on the corners, chest to knees right now.
And with a 3-0 count right here, I expect that Wambacher is going to be a statue. I wouldn't expect him to be swinging at all here, so that should give Lincoln an opportunity to get one.
You'd have to have a pretty high batting average, right, to get the green light on 3-0 to start early on in the year.
Exactly.
All right, 3-1 is now our count. I'm going to try to pull up some Lakeville North stats here for us, too. But lovely day. We got a good crowd here kind of assembled all around us behind home plate. We got a bunch of people on the hill in left field, so people are itching to get out and obviously watch some baseball.
Yeah, big pitch right here.
Okay, so bases are loaded, nobody out. And now we're going to bring up the DH, which is number 10, Alex
Bayless.
Bayless, yep. And he's also a senior, so, I mean, get used to it. Pretty much everybody's a senior here on this Lakeville North squad. Coach Tom Buski is going to come out, the pitching coach. Just kind of probably learn a little bit as to, what they're seeing, where the zone is. And maybe just kind of get him a little more comfortable with the pitches that he wants, that are rolling off his hand a little bit better. I'm just going to do a quick take here. If you're joining ETV, make sure to follow them on Twitter, Facebook, and subscribe on YouTube. You can visit eagan-tv.com. And like I said, we want to thank the crew, everybody in the truck, our camera crew. It's a lot of fun to be able to bring some high school baseball to those that, can't get out, right?
Exactly. So there's not a whole lot that the pitching coach can say here other than find out if this guy is feeling good and make sure that everybody knows defensively what it is they want to get done. It'll be interesting to see if they bring the infield in at this point. You still have nobody out and the bases loaded.
Yeah.
How much are we going to try to protect this one-run lead?
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, I think, since it's the first inning, I mean, I think you'd rather give up, 2 runs than have an inning where you're giving up 4 or 5, right? So I would think that the middle looks like the middle's playing about middle, even with the base. They're going to still turn it, and then the corners are up. So obviously anything hit right at them, they're going to come home. Anything that moves them, they're going to probably take it, the way that they're moved. Curveball in the dirt. 1-0 is our count. Second pitch is in, fastball, fouled away. And as we mentioned, this is Bayless, who's also a senior. Bayless is DHing, but also plays some outfield.
Barry gets to work from the windup now again. See if that's more comfortable for him.
There's a fastball, got it past him inside. 1-2's the count. The only thing that I've been told, and I think a lot of coaches will tell, and obviously you want the pitcher to be comfortable, right? But working from the windup, you're going to give the guy on second base quite a big jump, right? There's a curveball just ticked away up the middle, so foul ball. So 1-2's our count. That's really the main reason, I guess, right? And even the guy in first, right? Why you maybe would go stretch, early on, nobody out, bases loaded, as opposed to wind up. But you want him to be comfortable and throw strikes. There's a curveball, got him inside. Nice pitch, painted that inside black. So Barry strikes out Bayless, and now we're going to see the third baseman, which is Third baseman is Garrett Long. Looks like Garrett's playing third today, but is also a pitcher and a shortstop.
Same defensive alignment. Third base is stepped back just a little bit, still up on the corner at first.
Garrett rips one into left center. That's going to move Haig, and that's going to plate 2 runs. So Recchio comes in and Arndt. And just like that on one pitch, obviously Long was, making good use of his on deck and taking a look at all the pitches and was ready to jump on that first pitch fastball.
Yep.
Here's our replay. First pitch fastball, and moves Haig a little bit to his left, and that was easy for those 2 guys, for Recchio and Arndt, to come in. So 2-1's our score here, bottom of the first, 1 down. Barry on the mound. You got runners on second and third now. So that moved him enough, obviously, to get Long into second base. So he's already in scoring position. Grillo hits one to first base. Nice cover by Barry, gets an out, but by doing so, Wambacher comes in and scores. And actually what they did, I think, there is they pinch ran. We missed it. Matt Nia actually was running for Wambacher. So 3-1's our score as Grillo
Second base, number 14, batting 7.
gets an RBI ground out
Eagan.
over to Charlie Harms. Curveball's in there for a strike. Barry's starting to get his command here a little bit better. We got our second baseman's up now, which is number 14, Josh Haugen. Curveball hit towards Liam Martin at short. Completes the out to Harms. So, in the bottom of the first, Lakeville North gets 3 runs on 2 hits. What do you got for me, Blair?
I have 3 hits.
3 hits, yep, 3 hits. Left 1 on base. And we have a 3-1 score here after 1. Okay, need a fun summer job. Eagan's Cascade Bay is hiring. Serve your community, make friends, earn some money, and help create summer fun for everyone. Lifeguards, pool attendants, guest attendants, and ground attendants are some of the positions that are open. For more information on how to apply, dive into the website at cascadebay.com. Now, I didn't see, I saw that there was a mascot on there for Cascade Bay. I didn't see that was a potential opening. What do you think? You want a part-time job, Blair?
I was just thinking the same thing.
Right.
That's the kind of job they usually want me to have because you can't see my face.
Yeah, just hide behind the mascot mask, right? Wave at people, help out, pick up some trash, whatever it may be, take some pictures. Alrighty, so now Eagan is going to be looking at, I believe our catcher is going to be coming up. I think Charlie Steffen. I think we went through 6 hitters the first time through. Yep, perfect.
7, 8, 9 due up the top of the second.
7, 8, 9. So, as we mentioned, Baker was, started off a little, not bad, but a little erratic early on, and obviously found his zone here later on as the inning went on. So, he's had to obviously sit in the dugout for a little bit of a longer first, bottom half of the first. So we'll see. So, first offering. Fastball in the inside corner to Steffen.
Charlie was the hero of the day yesterday, hitting a home run in Shakopee that ended up being the difference in the game.
Yeah, and Charlie puts one down the line, too. Nice, easy swing on that off-speed curveball by Charlie. Flips it out to left field, and I think we might have – this could be a high-scoring game today, Blair. I don't know.
Well,
all right,
early indication would certainly seem that way.
Yeah, here's our replay. Nice little one-hopper out to the left fielder, which would have been Johnson. And then we have pinch running for the catcher. It's going to be number 6, Parker Fall.
Courtesy runner for the catcher. Now batting left
Okay,
fielder,
so
number 22.
that's going to bring up the left fielder, Matt Haig, number 22. So once again, we'll see if a bunt's in play, maybe the bunt and steal again. Ooh, big cut on that first pitch fastball. So Baker now working the inside of the plate a little bit more than he was in the first inning. First inning, for the most part, was trying to be low and away for the most part to all the hitters. And now he's kind of using the whole dish. Fall's got a average lead, and then we got our first fly ball hit to the infield, and that'll be our third baseman, Long. So 1 down, and that's going to bring up the number 9 hitter, third baseman, Griffin Reuter. And on the season, okay, so here. So maybe the stats an update from yesterday, but I have Reuter for 0 for 1. So Reuter maybe getting a little platoon start maybe today. And this could either be a second at bat, or maybe if he played yesterday a little bit, maybe those stats aren't entered in yet. I think by my count, I've had 3 lefties for Eagan so far. Amon, Reuter, and I think Shackman, I think maybe.
I think that's right.
Yeah.
I'll pay attention the next time through the order.
Don't worry about it. I just always like to see the dynamic, of how coaches maybe are putting that lineup together, right? Mm-hmm. So we got the 1-0 count here. Fastball down the middle. 1 down here, top of the second. Lakeville North Panthers up 3-1. On a lovely day, a little windy, but we're making it do. I'm just happy to be outside, and it's no snow, right, Blair?
No snow. That is a good thing.
Inside. Making sure that scoreboard's right. I have 2-1, but...
So do I.
Okay. All right, 2-1's our count. Griffin Reuter up at the plate. He's playing third base today. And he's going to try to drop a little drag. Uh-oh. And now look at Fall. Fall gets caught in no man's land and ends up on second. So in a roundabout way, Egan's 3 for 3 on stolen bases, I guess.
Get there however you can.
I guess that was a monster secondary, they would say. And actually it was so big that it worked in his favor, right?
Exactly.
Catcher made the right move. Fouled away. So Reuter here trying to do his job, not only keep the inning going and maybe get this run in, but also roll that top of the lineup back up. 2-2's our count. Rolls one over to the second baseman, which is Haugen, and Haugen throws it over to Grillo for the second out of the inning. So back to the top of the lineup, we got Alex Lockenmeyer. Alex had a hit, I think, the first time up.
Alex had a single his first trip to the plate.
Yeah.
And he's got that runner on third base now.
There's our replay, just a routine 4-3 there.
Reuter did do his job, though. Got that runner
absolutely.
over.
Now you got a wild pitch, and that's going to bring in Fall. So Fall does his job as a pinch runner, right? Comes in for the catcher, Stefan, and even though he got caught in no man's land, he ends up rolling all the way over to third and scores on, here's our replay, fastball outside. And
well, again, that's why it's important as a hitter when you come up in a situation like that to get your job done. Get the ball on the right side of the infield so the runner can advance from second and be able to take advantage when things like that happen, because they very often do.
Absolutely. Especially the way this kind of game's going, it looks like you're going to need to keep putting up runs every inning, right? Whether it's a single or a crooked number. Mm-hmm. So 2-0 count here, Baker to Lockenmeyer. First, there's a fastball down the middle for strike 1. Let's see if we can see what kind of extra base pop that Lockenmeyer has had so far this season. 5 for 11. Off speed low. 5 for 11, mainly singles, 1 double. So kind of your typical leadoff guy, right?
Yeah, he's got a hitter's count here. Let's see what he wants to do.
Ooh, and he gets the call. So Lockenmeyer was almost kind of looking like he was ready to go to first, but Baker paints the inside corner there. So 3-2 count, 2 down. 3-2 score with Lakeville North leading here in the top of the second. And then there's strike 3 and a nice off-speed by Baker. Baker snaps that curve. Wambacher closes it up. And here comes that curveball that we were talking about. Good snap. Look at Wambacher, nice position low. He even had a nice little frame on it too, even though he didn't need to. So Baker obviously is getting rolling here a little bit, even though he gave up that 1 run there, which, you know, they make the play on fall, I guess. You know, they don't even worry about that run coming around.
Exactly.
So we'll see now if Lincoln Berry kind of, you know, maybe catches his breath after that first inning, right? And they didn't really hit him that hard. It wasn't necessarily that they, you know, blasted him. It was just, you know, kind of, you know, single. They had the 1 double.
The 1 double.
The 1 double, though,
walk.
could have been a single, I feel like, too. I mean, I feel like because of that relay, that gave him second base anyways, so. But
Yeah.
he was putting himself in, you know, he was putting himself giving the hitters counts. That was, you know, that was the problem early on.
Well, he got a couple of ground balls to end the inning, so that as a pitcher is your best friend, right?
Yep.
Keeping the ball on the infield and on the ground, so hopefully that will carry over here some to the second.
Absolutely. Okay, so I think we're going to bring up now our second baseman.
Leading off for the Panthers. Bottom of the second.
Excuse me.
Number 8 hitter.
The left fielder.
Left field.
Yep.
Johnson.
Nolan Johnson, another senior. He's a pitcher as well, pitcher first base. So it's going to be Johnson, Brodeen, as he falls one off, and Recchio. So they'll flip to the top of the lineup here shortly. 0-1's our count. Like I said, 3-2, bottom of the second. Lovely day here in Lakeville. Fastball on the outside corner. I'm Casey Lux, and we got Blair Bremley. I'm going to make sure I got that right the second time.
No worries.
I worry so much about getting all the players' names right? Fastball on the outside corner. Good 0-2 pitch. Low and away, and he fouls that off.
Yeah, you want to get those. You want to get those names right. Those are the important ones.
Absolutely. Nice curveball, scooped up by Stefan for the first out of the inning. So now it's going to bring up the number 9 hitter, which is our center fielder here today, and that's number 2, Ryan Brodeen.
Number 2, Ryan Brodeen.
We're not even going to make the Jonas Brodeen reference.
No.
I don't think he has relations here.
I would tend to think not.
But you know what? But at least for Nolan, he can buy a hockey jersey, and it's his last name on the back, right?
Yeah.
Alrighty, 1-0's our count. Is that curveball missed, fastball's low. So 2-0 to the number 9 hitter, Brodeen. I'm gonna try to get some Lakeville stats up here too. I think we'll probably dabble into at least their stats for one at bat for everybody.
Sure.
Fastball's up and out. So after making quick do of Johnson, Barry's got himself at 3-0 here to the number 9 hitter. Another fastball up. So 4-pitch walk. Not what the pitching coach Buski wants to see.
Well, 4-pitch walk to the number 9 hitter is not your ideal.
But I will stick up for number
execution.
9 hitters all across the world. That sometimes they do put some good batsmen and some good speed down there, right?
Absolutely.
So it isn't always the lowest average, always, right?
Right.
All right, so we got Recchio up here as he sees a curveball in for a strike. 0-1's our count. Recchio's our shortstop. He's another senior. Or excuse me, no, Tanner. Tanner's a sophomore. So he's the outlier.
He is the only sophomore on this Lakeville North varsity roster.
Got the open stance as we watch Brodeen crawl back into first. Both pitchers have a pretty solid move, I'd say, to first. So
Yeah, they do.
And I think we've noticed that, right? I mean, people are taking about 3 steps, no more than 3.5. Haven't seen any big leagues yet. Recchio goes down the line, foul. So 0-2's our count, and Tanner, 4 games played, is 5 for 14, scored 4 runs, 4 singles, 1 double. And I wanted to mention right away with the stats is, as you know, right, early on in the year, 1 game can make you look like all conference.
Yep.
And we had real close play at first, and then obviously 1 bad game can make that average look pretty ugly. So take that with a grain of salt, but we just want to make sure that we kind of sprinkle some stuff in so people know what some of these guys are doing here early on, because all these kids have been itching to play, obviously, since 2019. All right, we got a double play chance. Nice play by Harms, and then Barry gets over, but just not in time. So a nice play from Harms over to Martin. Harms to Martin, that was a nice little play, but obviously Recchio was quick enough to get down the line. So 2 down. Recchio's at first. Going to bring up the left fielder, number 11, Will Arndt. Arndt and Recchio scored runs in the first inning as Lakeville plated 3 in the first. And at one point we're looking at it, I believe it was bases loaded with 1 out, or was it base loaded with 2 outs?
We had the bases loaded with 1 out.
Yep.
Before Long came and got the 2-run RBI double.
Fastball gets past Stefan, so Recchio's going to go down to second. So now the force play's taken away. What did Art do his first time up? Did he walk or did he have a hit?
No, he had a single.
Okay.
Single to left.
All right, 1-0's our count. Barry to Arndt. There's a nice curveball in the outside corner. Get it back even at 1-1. Let's see, whoops. On the season, Arndt is 4 for 13 with 3 singles and also a double. A nice fastball outside corner, low on the knees. Make it 1-2 here. 2 down, bottom of the second, 3-2. Lakeville North leading. Played 3 in the first. Eagan had 1 in the first and then came back with 1 that they kind of manufactured here in the top of the second. Another curveball, nice piece of hitting, but plenty of room out in right field for Mr. Sam Shackman. So Shackman makes the play and Barry gets out of the inning unscathed. So I think just 1 left on base. We're going to watch that replay. About 5 steps to Shackman's right. And that wind maybe held it up a little bit too.
Yeah, the wind is blowing in that direction, so that probably did give him a little extra help.
Yep.
For North in the second, no runs, no hits, no errors.
Okay, so
1 runner left on base after 2 innings of play.
So then for Eagan, we're going to have 2, 3, 4 are going to be coming up.
I'd like to take a second to thank the sponsors that have hung their banners on the right field fence. I want to thank each and every one of them for this Wildcats baseball. And also on the scoreboard.
So that I can have a graduation this spring is most important to me. For my sport, so that I'll be able to participate and compete.
Because I want to be on stage for my senior year musical and prom and graduation.
This program to get students testing when they're asymptomatic increases the likelihood that we catch some of that very small percentage of students that test positive and eliminate the huge disruption for that co-curricular activity or that school day.
I don't want to be a community spreader, so coming to the Armory, getting a free test has been easy. And it makes sure that I'm staying safe as well as keeping my friends safe.
We want to be back in person, and we need to work together to get to that point.
During the COVID-19 pandemic, parents have kept their children home to keep them safe. As a result, pediatric visits
and we're back. Second baseman's going to be leading off the top of the third, and that's going to be Mason Amon as the lefty stands in. Mason's 1 for 6 on the year, but he has 4 walks, so obviously he is a master working the count as he tries to do a little drag bunt here early on. Baker's been back. Baker's been pretty solid here from about the second inning on of throwing that first pitch strike, right? And as you know, Blair, obviously that's just so important to get ahead early.
As a pitcher, you like to be in control of the count. The easiest way to do that is to get that first pitch in for a strike.
Absolutely. Fastball in the outside corner. Just misses. So 1-1's our count. Wambacher was setting up way outside there. Actually comes back inside even though he wanted to go outside. So 2-1's our count. As I mentioned, Amon 1 for 6 on the year with a single, 1 RBI, but 4 walks as well.
Getting guys on base at the top of the order is always a good thing.
Yep. Fastball high outside, fouled straight back, so 2-2's our count. I think Amon, did he strike out first time up, right?
Amon's first at bat,
Yep.
he did strike out swinging.
Yeah. Kind of the same count, I believe, and I think Baker got him with the curveball inside, so we'll see here. Fastball's going to be punched out to left, and that's going to be caught by Johnson. So first one down for the inning, and that's going to bring up the shortstop, Liam Martin. Here's our replay.
Pretty good contact, but can of corn for the left fielder.
Yeah.
Hit it right at him.
And watching that replay, Johnson had to take about 2 steps. I mean, he didn't have to hardly move. So Liam obviously playing short, and he's a pitcher as well. Fastball low and outside. Liam on the year is 3 for 10, single and 2 doubles.
So he drew a walk his first time up and had one of our interesting stolen bases from the Wildcats so far this game.
Yeah. It's like the rebirth of the stolen base, which is good to see because you don't hardly ever see it in the pros anymore. It's like 10 guys in the league steal like 30 bases or more, and that's it. Martin hit one over to Recchio's right, and that actually gets Recchio right in the back, kind of in the wrist there. Now Recchio's down. Took a big hop off of either the dirt or even that lip there from the grass. And we'll have a little break. We're going to see the replay here. Yeah, and it catches him kind of right in probably the outside of that wrist. So I'm sure it's stinging more than hopefully, actually deep bruise or a fracture, but it's probably just the sting of it right now.
Yeah, it looked like it caught him on, as you say, on the outside of the wrist, right above his glove.
Yeah.
That's a hard play to make, for the shortstop going to his right, trying to backhand that ball. And if it doesn't take a true hop for you, it can end up catching you in places and ways that you don't expect. So hopefully you're right, though. This is just a little bit of him trying to shake it off.
Yeah,
There's nothing more serious than that.
Yeah, almost kind of like that if you want to call it the funny bone above your wrist, right? Right. So, but yeah, it looked like that ball really picked up speed after it took that hop right off the grass, and then obviously probably hit a cleat mart, and that's where it just jumped up on him. Mm-hmm. It would have been a tough play for him to get Martin down the line anyways.
Agreed.
But it looks like Recchio is going to be tough sophomore, and he's going to tough it out and stay in there. I mean, in a roundabout way, it's better than obviously having it on your throwing hand, right? And having that, ringing the whole game.
Sure. So
it's more of just if he can play through it, on his backhand, on his glove hand. Okay, so we got one down. We got Martin on first, and that's going to bring up the pitcher, number 10, Lincoln Berry. Remind me, Blair, what Berry do that first time through?
Berry also drew a walk his first time up.
Okay. Berry's 4 for 11 on the year.
He checked to first base, and that ball got away from the first baseman, and so here goes Liam, and he's digging for third as well.
Jeez. So aggressive base running by Liam Martin. And you know what? If kids or anybody else is watching at home, you could tell that by about that, when he was halfway to second, he already had in his mind that he was going to third. I missed the play because I was, of course, looking at some stats.
No,
but
he didn't slow down one bit coming around second base.
No.
And, there's a lot of foul ground here, and when you look around before the game time and you understand your surroundings and what's available to you, I'm sure he knew that and decided to take advantage.
Absolutely. High fastball in there for a strike as Berry goes after it. Yeah, and that's the other thing, too. I mean, like he's mentioned, with the depth of foul territory, normally that wouldn't be as long of a throw for a first baseman, right, to make a one hop to third. As we watch that second pitch come in for ball 1, so 1-1's our count. One down, we got Liam Martin on third base, but it's just a longer throw. So I mean, obviously Liam, knew the surroundings and knew that hey, it's going to need a perfect throw to get me going around the bases. Berry fouls the fastball out of play, so now we're at 1-2, 1 out. And obviously, Berry's just looking for a pitch that he can control. Either at worst, either get something like you said on the right side on the ground, or obviously get something to the outfield. Get Martin in to tie this game up. There's the ground ball to second, and that's going to get the run in. So Berry does his job as a pitcher, picks himself up, so to say. Yep. And really, he's going to be giving a high five to Martin for the aggressive base running from first to third. That was the big play right there.
Yeah, he did help himself, and that's what you like to see for a pitcher. He handled it very, very well. Did exactly what he needed to get that ball to the right side.
Absolutely. So RBI for Berry. That's 2 outs now, but it's a tie game, 3-3. And then we got the first baseman, Charlie Harms, up. And Charlie had a base hit his first time up as well. And they're going to try to pitch him away here, Baker is, but he finds one right down the middle for a fastball, for a strike. 0-1's our count. Try to give you some Charlie Harms. We won't do Charlie Harm puns today, okay? We'll just call it as it is.
Do no harm.
Yeah, right. 0-2's our count as the fastball is fouled away. On the season, Charlie is 2 for 7, 2 singles. And as I mentioned, this very well could just be their first 3 games. We might not have their stats in there from their 1-0 win yesterday.
He's already picked up another single in the first inning today.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we mentioned, the hero of the game yesterday, well, 2 heroes, right? Biancamano obviously pitched a heck of a game as a shutout, 7-inning shutout. And there's strike 3 as a fastball right down the middle. So it looks like that Charlie was probably thinking off speed there and just got caught up guessing wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But in doing so, Eagan does score 1 on, I guess we'll probably give that ball to Recchio probably a hit because I would say it would have been an infield hit anyways. So 1 run on 1 hit, left one on base. And now we're tied 3-3 going into the bottom of the 3rd.
So I noticed that Lakeville had a pitcher warming up in the bullpen during that half inning. I'll be curious to see if Sam Baker comes back out or if we see somebody else on the hill.
After 2.5, we're all tied up.
Yeah.
3-3.
I didn't bring my clicker.
You know, I didn't either. If I really wanted to, I suppose I could go count them all up.
Yeah. Well, believe me, both teams are obviously keeping track because when there's a pitch limit, due to not just high school league, but not Minnesota high school league. I have a good buddy that coaches down in Las Vegas, and they have the exact same pitch count. So I'm assuming that for the most part it's nationwide, that adaptation of the pitch count, which I think started in 2019, if I remember correctly.
Actually, a little bit earlier.
Was it earlier than that? Okay.
But yeah, most places have kind of come to the conclusion, I think, that burning up arms at young ages just isn't good for anybody, and more you're seeing all kinds of different variations, but trying to keep arms fresh and prevent guys from getting injured and having problems.
Absolutely. And you know what I'll say real quick? You hear John Fogarty playing Put Me in Coach, and you feel like spring has finally arrived, right, Blair?
Yeah.
So we got our catcher up now, leading off, number 9. And this is going to be Tyler Wambacher, who's done a nice job behind the plate today. Swings at the first offering and a curveball in the inside corner from Barry. Foul ball. 0-1 is our count now. I believe Wambacher was on first, or got right. Get a hit his first time up.
Wambacher drew a walk his first time.
Okay. Another curveball. This time outside, gets past Stefan. 1-1's our count. 3-3's our score. Bottom of the 3rd. And North is sending up their 3, 4, and 5 hitters. So we'll see what Barry does this second time through the heart of the lineup. A nice curveball on the outside corner that Wambacher offers that. 1-2's our count. Another curveball. 2-2. So one thing I've noticed, at least early on from both teams, is that they're playing pretty much everybody straight up, right? I mean, there isn't a whole lot of shifting, although I think here at Wambacher we have the second baseman over on the left side of the bag. So,
sure.
So this looks like this is the first time we've seen a little bit of a shift by either team. I was kind of interested to see how much the high school teams have adapted on the shift. I know watching Eagan in 2019, they played people pretty much straight up. But obviously, as you've seen some of these guys more and more, then you obviously know where you can kind of start playing them and where you can be pitching them.
Well, that's just it. I mean, how many, what kind of scouting report do you have that gives you the confidence to do that,
right.
Especially this early on in the year? But a lot of these guys are veteran players, seniors, and we've seen them in prior seasons, and so perhaps that was enough to give comfort to our coaching staff that they wanted to go that way with this hitter.
Yeah. Barry misses on the outside corner, 3-2. And kind of, the other piece, too, is depending on how teams are doing it, if your pitching coach is calling the pitches, then you're probably going to stay away from that outside corner so he doesn't just flip one, down to where the second baseman would be when you have a shift going. So Wambacher's hit with a fastball and a 3-2 pitch, which is kind of the no-no of all pitching things. And now Wambacher is going to go to first. And then once again, we're going to have a pinch runner, which is going to be, number 9, Matt Nia. And he actually came around and scored for Wambacher in the bottom of the 1st. So
yes,
that's going to bring up the number 4 hitter, which is our DH number today, number 10, Alex Bayless. Bayless sees an inside fastball, goes after it. Actually, it was a off-speed. It looked like it may have been a changeup. Jammed a little bit, but a nice play. And once again, the center fielder, Lockemeyer, didn't really have to move at all. So 1 down. 3 threes our score here. Bottom of the third. And we got the third baseman up, number 5. Or excuse me, I always flip them around. Number 21, excuse me, Garrett
21,
Long. I'm always
21 playing position 5.
That was an interesting play. That looked like that could have been foul tip, but it must not have been. And Stefan can corral it, and we see Nia scamp down to second. So 1-0's our count.
And once again, you've got that runner in scoring position now with 1 out, so this batter needs to do a job.
And there's that base hit that you just talked about. Nia scampers over to third as Long comes through with a base hit out to left field. And that's going to now bring up the first baseman, number 16, which is Joe
First base, number 16,
Grillo.
Joe Grillo.
Grillo. See, I was giving it the more of the Spanish pronunciation.
Yeah.
So Grillo.
So runners at first and third, and let's see how long it takes Lakeville to try to get some more motion on the base paths here.
Yep. If you ever needed a ground ball to second or short, this is the time with 1 down. Nia's quick on the bases. Barry finds the outside corner as Grillo offers. 0-1's our count. 1 down. Bottom of the third. 3-3 is our score. Hits so far today, you got 4 for Lakeville North and 3 for Eagan. So you see a little pickoff attempt and a clean game so far. We haven't seen an error. As we mentioned, you can't give Recchio an error on that ball by Liam. Even if he fields it cleanly, he's not going to throw him out.
Right.
Outside corner's in there for a strike. Got a little cutoff play as Liam cuts it off, so they basically give up the base. But 0-2 in doing so. So basically a give-take for both teams, right? Giving the base up on the Eagan side, North giving up the strike from Grillo as he just was kind of swinging over the top of it. Here's our 0-2 pitch, and he gets him on the low fastball outside corner. So a big pitch from Barry. And what we've noticed so far, Blair, is obviously he's been getting a lot tougher as the game's been going on. He kind of got past that hiccups in the first inning.
Settling in nicely right here, yes. He's got 4 strikeouts already through 2 2/3 innings.
So that's going to bring up the second baseman, number 14, which is going to be Josh Haugen. So 2 down, you got Niha who's pinch running for Wambacher on third. And then we got, I believe, Long at second. Barry, for the most part, has been working out of the windup today. There's a fastball right down the middle.
Nice pitch.
See it and hit it. 1-1's our count. 2 down, bottom of the third, 3-3 game. Once again, Lakeville North attempting to try to blow it open a little bit. There's that slider that's just kind of slowly swung on by Haugen. As you can tell, Haugen was just trying to flip it over that second baseman's head there on that off speed. Going to right, which is the right idea.
Especially on one that's running away from you like that.
Now we got a curveball, and that's going to bring in Nia. So the tough part, as you know, Blair, is you go for that strikeout pitch, right? You go for probably your dirtiest stuff, but knowing that it's going to be tough for that catcher to obviously be a brick wall back there on that pitch.
Yeah, I mean, with a 1-2 count, you might want to try to get a guy to swing at something that maybe he otherwise wouldn't or shouldn't.
Yeah.
But that's a tough one. But again, that's all the importance of getting your runners in scoring position.
Absolutely. As you see a ground ball to short, which is Martin. Martin's going to go to Harms for the out. But in doing so, on that 1-2 pitch that went a little awry for Barry, Lakeville once again takes the lead, and Niha is the man of the day so far. He's got 2 runs, two pinch running runs that he's scored. So I guess if they get him on, if Wambacher gets on base, Niha's going to come around and score. Is what we're seeing.
The courtesy runner doing his job.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So Lakeville does score 1 on 1 hit, then they leave 1, and now we have a 4-3 game going into the top of the 4th inning.
After 3 innings of play,
We got plenty of time here. There's no need to get too terribly concerned from the Eagan side of the field. Bringing up numbers 6, 7, and 8 in this half inning. Guys who've had a little success so far in the game. But if you can get one or two of those guys on base, then you're back to the top. And that's exactly what you're trying to accomplish here.
Well, and the interesting thing, like you said, too, right, is that they already had somebody warming up in the pen. So what that tells you is how long a leash are they going to have on Baker here now coming into the fourth inning? Because, now he's going to see everybody twice, right? This is the second time up. And, and he obviously, he's shown that he can go the distance. His first time out, I think he went 7 innings, got a win, had 8 Ks. So, I mean, more than likely I guess I wouldn't say he's their ace, but I would like to think he's their 1 or 2. So, obviously there's a lot of trust in him. He's a senior.
Yep.
But, at what point, does Coach Tony Market from Lakeville, maybe have to make that decision. So we'll keep an eye on that. Reminder, too, you got the head coach on the Eagan side is Steve Butler. And then now we have for Eagan.
Leading off for Eagan at the top of the fourth. Right
Sam
fielder,
Shackman's up for
number
us.
27.
Yes, the right fielder, Sam Shackman. Fastball in the outside corner for a ball. So now we got 1-0 count early on.
It's kind of interesting to me that Lakeville had a pitcher up in the bullpen a little earlier, and nobody's down there now.
It's a lonely spot now. So fastball right down the middle here from Baker. Looks like Shackman was going to take a strike there regardless.
Whatever concerns they may have had about Barry, they seem to be feeling better about it now.
So Baker comes back now with 2 back-to-back fastballs for strikes to Shackman. High curveball left up top. So 2-2 count. Baker shakes off Wambacher. Probably back to a curveball, which he does. And this is going to stay in play, but it's going to be a tough one. You could tell that. As Grillo was kind of tracking that. That was a tough one. He was looking pretty much right up in the sun, and he probably wasn't factoring in that the wind was going to bring it back, right?
He had the sun, he had the wind, he had lots of space that he had, lots of ground he had to cover, and never really got himself in a position to make that play.
And as you know, too, you can't replicate all these type of plays in practice, right? Because you're just not always going to have the wind the way it's, the way the game's being played. So,
right.
Nice job by Shackman, though, fouling off that fastball. 2-2's our count, nobody down. Top of the fourth, Lakeville North 4, Eagan Wildcats 3. Baker overthrows on that fastball. So nice job by Shackman of having the count from 1-2 now to 3-2 and is back in his favor.
Pitcher's got to bring him something now that he's at least going to be tempted to swing at.
There's a fastball, and actually Baker gets exactly what he wants. He gets a fastball and blows it by Shackman for the first out of the inning. So that'll bring up our catcher, number 7, Charlie Steffen. And as you mentioned, he was the hero yesterday.
Number 7, Chuck Steffen.
It's not often that you win a game only getting 2 hits, but one of them was a solo home run by this young man right here, and that was all that they needed to take down Shakopee yesterday.
It sounded like it was about middle of the game, I think the 4th or 5th inning. So
obviously
it was 0-0 for, whole game, and obviously one swing of the bat, and that ends up being the outlier.
That is a pitcher's duel.
Yeah. So the 1-0 pitch is going to be swung on. Got a little carry to it, but a lot more carry. But about an extra 10-15 out there for the center fielder, Brodeen. And that's what we were kind of waiting on. We were waiting to see what kind of carry we had, and it didn't even seem that Steffen had a full swing on that thing.
It didn't look like he got all of it at all,
right.
But it kept going and going and going.
Yeah, as we watch the replay here, and you see our center fielder Brodeen that you thought he had it marked and had to go back about another 5-6 steps, but he also had it tracked. You could tell he wasn't worried about the fence. He knew he was still about 5-10 feet from that fence there.
Right.
So first pitch there for a ball in the off speed. Fastball back in the outside corner is good for a strike. So 1-1's our count, 2 down. And we have the left fielder, Matt Haig, is up. There's a fastball lifted out to left. I think 3 of the 4 hits have all been out to the left fielder here for 3 of the 4 for Eagan. So Haig gets on base. That's going to bring up the number 9 hitter to third baseman, Griffin Reuter. And as you can see, high fastball, nice piece of hitting, kept his hands back, drove through the ball. Nice, easy 2-hopper out to that left fielder, Johnson.
And so now you've got the number 9 hitter batting in this inning. His job is to keep this thing going as best he can.
And he gets a nice little pass ball, and that's going to put Haig on second. So now Reuter's eyes gets a little bit bigger as he knows that he's got an RBI chance.
Yes, it does. And the way things are going, he may end up having to run around third base here pretty quick.
Yeah, and actually, in looking at that replay, it looked like Wambacher wanted that pitch low and out, and actually the pitch came low and in.
Crossed up a little bit.
There's a little base hit, and a heck of a play by Recchio to his glove side. Makes a great throw, but that does pull Grillo off the base. I was getting ready to say a nice base hit to left, and Recchio just dives out there. It's like go-go gadget arms as we watch this replay. I didn't think he'd make it one hop.
Yeah, did a really nice job getting the glove on the ball and made a good strong throw, just a little bit up the line. Wasn't able to get the speedy runner.
Yeah.
So now we're first and third with 2 outs, and we've got the top of the order up.
Absolutely top of the order, which is the center fielder Alex Lockenmeyer. And yeah, I mean, a nice strong throw. Just pulled Grillo off the base, but Grillo just couldn't get that tag. He couldn't get the sweeping tag. And obviously that shows you that Reuter's got some speed to get down the line too. He wasn't, just watching it thinking it was going to be an RBI single to left field. So 0-1's our count with our leadoff up. We're going to send him, and that ball's going to go into center. So Reuter is kind of the player of the inning here as he gets a single, an infield single, and then steals a base. And Eagan, I think, is up to now 4 stolen bases as we watch this replay. Gets a decent jump. But that low throw, well, I think what happened was that when the shortstop cut across the cutoff, that kind of messed up the second baseman, Haugen, there. Because it kind of flashed in front of him. High off speed, now we're at 1-2. So Lockemeyer takes that strike, but in doing so, that allows Haug to score the tying run on that pass ball on the stolen base. Another high fastball. 2-2.
You can tell Barry's a little frustrated by that play.
Baker,
Baker, I'm sorry. Letting that ball get into center field.
Yeah.
He's battling really hard here.
Big cut by Lockemeyer. Just missed it. So we got a 2-2 count. 2 down.
Looks like that ball may have gotten a piece of the umpire.
Yeah. Yeah, that happened so fast. I thought for a second it was Wambacher, but Wambacher jumped up right away. So, yeah, everybody's getting used to those. That's been sitting around all winter, and then all of a sudden you start umping, and all of a sudden you got some foul balls coming at that grill of yours. 2-2.
That's why I do this and not that.
Yeah, exactly. 2-2 count with 2 down. And he gets that fastball in the outside corner. So once again, Baker runs the count back up to 2-2, but blows it away with that outside fastball and sends Lockemeyer down as we watch this replay. A nice pitch in the outside corner, right on the knees. Got the black and a nice frame as by walking Wambacher. If you're enjoying ETV, make sure to follow them on Twitter, Facebook, and subscribe on YouTube. Visit eagan-tv.com.
All tied up. 4-4.
So we got a 4-4 score here, Blair. And it's just been kind of a back-and-forth battle. Eagan's gotten 1 every inning. And Lakeville North has put up some runs, put up 3 in the first and 1 in the third. So Barry obviously put him down in the second. So we'll see if Barry kind of feels a little bit of that momentum because he was pitching well last inning. Just by getting Neha over to third and then that pass ball with 2 outs, that's what brought that run in.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with being steady and getting 1 run an inning, but you'd like to put up a couple of crooked numbers somewhere along the line too, right?
Yeah, and as we talked about too, it looked like the first inning was going to be the inning, right? You got the leadoff guy on right away. You got him over to second on the fake bunt, and then Lockemeyer got a little greedy. Thought he was Ricky Henderson for a second there, who was going to take third. And granted, like we said, it was more of a timing thing because obviously he was taking off even before Baker was pulling his leg up. And obviously Baker was smart enough to step off. So with that being said, in the bottom of the fourth, we got the left fielder, which is number 17, as we said, as you heard in the background, Nolan Johnson. And that first pitch curveball is going to be low and in for ball 1. So.
Yeah, Johnson struck out swinging in the first inning. He's going to be looking to do a little bit better than that here, I'm sure.
Yep, as you can watch him jumping on some of these fastballs as he fouls one away. So we got 1-1's our count, 4-4's our score. Right now, Eagan is out hitting Lakeville 5-4. Still a clean game, no errors. There's a nice slow curve. Looks like he took a little something off on that one.
That was a really, really well-placed and well-timed curveball.
Absolutely. 1-2 is our count. Nobody down here in the bottom of the fourth as we see a ground ball hit over to Harms. And Barry does a nice job of hopping off that mound. You know what, and you love to see that. We'll probably see the replay too, but you love to see that by the first baseman. You know, that's a ball that very well would have been a routine ball for the second baseman, right? But Harms just goes over there, tracks it as we watch this replay.
You know, and Barry, as I'm sure, has been trained as most pitchers are. If there's a ball on that side of the infield and you're throwing, you are going to first base regardless.
Absolutely.
And that's exactly why, because Harms did have the range over quite a bit. And there was no way he was going to be able to get back himself. So Barry made it possible for him to get that out.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And he hopped off that quick so that way he could find the base and get settled in. And as we watch a little nubber hit back to Barry as he relays it over to Harms. And that was number 2. That would be the center fielder. That was Brodeen that hit that one on that 1-0 pitch. So 2 down as we see now the top of the order gets flipped back around as our shortstop, the sophomore, which is Tyler Recchio, who's made probably the best play of the day so far.
Even though it didn't get an out of it, he probably did make the best defensive play of the game.
At the time, it saved a run, right?
Yes.
Which still came around to score. But so we got 2 down here in the bottom of the fourth as we watch that off-speed low for a ball. 1-0 is our count.
I'm going to watch how he swings on this at bat too. It's the first time he's come up since he took that ground ball off the wrist out at shortstop.
As he flips one. Oh, wow, and that actually stayed up. So, okay, so he got a little love on the win there. I thought for sure that was going to go foul. And Recchio was going to round for 3, and he's going to find himself with a triple. So on a ball that looked like was going to hang up and go foul, the wind probably held it to keep it fair. And Recchio was thinking 3 the whole way, even though he still could score on a base hit from second.
Right fielder, Will Arndt.
Yeah, that was very deceiving when it came off the bat. Looked like it was going to hang up, looked like it might be getting pushed foul, but it did get down and it got some more depth to it than I think any of us expected, and except maybe for Recchio.
Yeah, absolutely.
He was going the whole time.
Yeah. Recchio's having a nice day today.
He is.
Okay, so that's going to bring up the right fielder, another senior, and this can be Will Arndt. We got 2 down, so now probably a little conversation between Stefan and Barry just to figure out you're going to go from stretch, you're going to go from wind-up, maybe even what you feel most comfortable pitching with that first pitch.
You've also got somebody now throwing in the Eagan bullpen, so perhaps there's a little bit of giving that guy time to get a few extra warm-up tosses in as well.
So first pitch misses low, so we got a 1-0 count. I think it's Parker Fall, but can't tell from here. There's a nice fastball in the outside corner. 1-1's our count. 2 down here. 4-4 score here in the bottom of the fourth. Back and forth game. Well played on the field. Both teams have had plenty of scoring opportunities early on. The 1-1 pitch is going to be popped up with a little bit of room for Stefan, but the wind kind of pulled it away, and that would have been a tough one for him. You know, it's a tough one for him to get all the way back there and get around and try to square it up. He'd had a basket catch it if he would have got it.
Yeah, and again, that's part of the issue with all the foul ground we've got here at Lakeville North High School. Hard to get all the way back to the screen and have an opportunity to get after that one.
Absolutely. 1-2's our count, 2 down. Recchio's on third. There's a ball laced right down to the bullpen on an off-speed pitch to Arndt. So this is Arndt's third at-bat, correct?
This is his 3rd time up. He had a single in the first and fly it out to right field in the second inning.
Okay. So here's our 1-2 pitch from Barry. Goes with the fastball. It's going to be popped up. It's probably going to be a play for Amon. And Amon does take it away as he has to play the win. I did like the hustle by Harms to try to come over there and get it. But after, in the bottom of the fourth, we had 1 hit with 1 left on. We still have a 4-4 game as we go to break.
For me to get tested every 2 weeks so that I can have a graduation this spring is most important to me.
For my sport, so that I'll be able to participate and compete.
Because I want to be on stage for my senior year musical and prom and graduation.
This program to get students testing when they're asymptomatic increases the likelihood that we catch some of that very small percentage of students that test positive and eliminate the huge disruption for that co-curricular activity or that school day.
I don't want to be a community spreader, so coming to the Armory, getting a free test has been easy. And it makes sure that I'm staying safe as well as keeping my friends safe.
We want to be back in person, and we need to work together to get to that point.
During the COVID-19 pandemic, parents have kept their children home to keep them safe. As a result, pediatric visits and vaccinations have been missed. Although the COVID-19 vaccine is not yet available to children, there are vaccinations available to prevent other serious illnesses. Now is...
Alrighty, and we're back here, top of the fifth, and that's going to bring up the second baseman. We just made that last play of the bottom of the fourth there. It's our second baseman, number 5, Mason Amon, a well-known name amongst Eagan athletics, especially baseball. As we mentioned, his brother Jackson, who I called some games for, playing up at St. John's right now, also a second baseman. Fastball's in there for a strike, so we got a 1-1 count. Little different body types, though, between Jackson and Mason. Mason's a little longer and leaner, and Jackson was a little more, not short, but you know what I mean, more stocky, I guess would be the right call.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah. You know, I'm guessing that Jackson might be able to outbench him, right? So he's got that on.
Probably.
As that off speed on the outside corner gets Mason to swing at for strike 3. So we got one down here now in the top of the fifth, and that's going to bring up number 3 hitter, which is our shortstop, Liam Martin. I believe Liam's been on base twice.
He reached on an error in the third inning. That was the Recchio play.
Yep.
So he reached on a. We'll give that a base hit and a base on balls in the first.
Yep. So 0-1's our count as Baker gets a nice off speed to go, and then he paints the outside corner with a strike. As we mentioned on the year, Liam's hitting 3 for 10, at least coming into either this game or after the first 3. There's a fastball and a waist pitch is up and high. 1-2's our count. 4-4 is our score. We're here at Lakeville North High School as we watch Martin flip one in between Recchio and Long out to left field for a base hit. So Eagan now has Martin on base, which probably means that within a pitch or two will be a stolen base opportunity again, right?
If we keep going like we have been, it sure will be.
Absolutely. So Lincoln Berry, the pitcher, is going to step in. He's the Wildcats number 4 pitcher. Yep. And we got our first mound visit coming in here for Lakeville North as we see a little activity, and it looks like Caleb Hurd is going to be the one that's going to be warming up. I don't know if that's Coach Gassman or Henze. It's maybe one of the two. I know it's not Coach Martin out there, but the pitching coach.
Yeah, the Eagan bullpen's now quiet again, but more activity over on the Lakeville side.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting. It very quietly and in kind of a sneaky fashion. Baker's got 7 strikeouts in this game already.
Yeah.
He's been really, really good at getting guys mostly to swing at pitches.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing
outs.
too. I was going to say I would say probably 5 or 6 of them have been swinging strikes compared to looking strikes, right?
Yeah, I've only had 2 where they've been caught looking.
Okay.
So 7 strikeouts and 2 walks, and giving up 4 runs. It's kind of an interesting day for him so far.
Yeah. If you're enjoying ETV, make sure to follow them on Twitter, Facebook, and subscribe on YouTube. You can visit eagan-tv.com. And once again, we'd like to say thank you for Eagan TV for providing all the excellent camera work, graphics, replays. We really have a lot of fun when we're able to do some of these games. This year they're doing 6 games. I think in 2019 they did 2. So it's a lot of fun to be able, like I said, to provide some entertainment and some baseball for fans, whether they're at home or in a different state wanting to watch a grandkid. So fastball on the outside is going to be out. Ball 1. So 1-0's a count to Barry. Liam Martin's on first. We got 1 down here in the top of the 5th and a 4-4 game. Eagan out hitting Lakeville 6-5. No errors yet on the board. There goes Martin on a little hit and run action. Barry fouls it straight back. So 1-1 will be our count. As I mentioned earlier, we'll mention again, Barry's 4 for 11 on the season. Barry's got a little bit of everything. He's got a single, he's got a double, and he's got a triple. And a home run. There you go. So he's got the cycle on the season.
In the season cycle, the home run was against Apple Valley, I believe, and he absolutely
And there's
crushed
a cross shot by Barry to straightaway center as it's going to fall right in front of the fence. Martin's going to be waved home by Coach Butler. He's going to be standing up. Barry's also going to slide into third with his second triple of the season. So we thought we might have had a Wildcat jack there to Blair, but instead he lands at about 2 feet from the fence, and he takes it all the way to third for a slide-in safely triple.
There was every reason to think there was an
Blair.
opportunity that was going to get out of here with the following wind and as well as he hit that ball, but unfortunately he hit it pretty much to the deepest part of the field. But I'm sure he'll be okay with the RBI and the triple.
Absolutely, and you notice on the replay, you saw he wasn't sitting there watching it, right? He wasn't gonna sit back and flip the bat and watch it. He was hustling out of the box. He was thinking 3 right away. So that's 6th hit of the game as Baker comes quick to the plate, and actually Charlie Harms might have had a good call there. He either asked for time or maybe almost got a quick pitch there. Baker might have used a little veteran move there. There's a fastball fouled away. So you have Barry at third. Eagan leading 5-4 here in the top of the 5th. 1 down, out hitting Lakeville North 6-5. Like we said, no errors. We got infield in. There's a fastball on the outside corner. Flip foul, but nice piece of hitting there by Harms. I think we're trying to catch up on the scoreboard. There we go. 0-2's our count. So something he can handle, get to the outfield. There we go. Right up the middle for a base hit for Harms. So that brings in Barry. And now we see in the third time up, that these guys are they're very comfortable that here's our replay right up the middle fastball. Dribbled up the middle, and you know, whether you had infield in or not, you weren't going to make that play. But what I was going to say is that this third time through, you can tell that these guys are a lot more comfortable with the pitches that they've seen, and they're not getting overpowered by Barry, you know, like we saw in the first 2 times where they're getting caught, you know, looking or swinging on that strike 3.
Yeah, it's very obvious that this third time through the order is certainly different for Barry and for Eagan. Everybody's kind of figuring out what each of the other is comfortable with and capable of doing.
Absolutely. So far this inning, we've seen a base hit from Liam Martin as he scored, came around to score. Yep. And then we also had a triple by Barry. So those were and then now Barry comes in on the base hit by Harms. And now we're going to bring up a pinch hitter, which is going to be number 29, Griffin Fensky. Let's see if we got some stats on Fensky too here. 1 down here, top of the 5th. Eagan up 6-4, and we have Harms on first. So an inning that we've seen the 4 and 5 hitters do some damage, as Barry has an RBI triple and Harms has an RBI single. And that just shows, and there's a good chance Barry would have scored on a base hit up the middle, but you love to see the hustle by getting over to third, because that would put him in position to score on a wild pitch or a pass ball.
Exactly.
Baker misses low with a fastball into Fensky. Fensky on the season, 1 for 3 with an RBI. Looks like team leader for RBIs is Barry with 6, and that, like I said, might have been before yesterday, so now he has 7. Fastball outside corner, catches the plate for a strike, so 1-1's our count here. 1 out, top of the 5th. 6-4 is our score, with Eagan leading Lakeville North. See a little throw over. 62 degrees. We guessed around, 12 to 15 mile an hour winds, maybe?
Yeah, somewhere in there.
But pretty steady. Looks like it's kind of going from about left center to right center. High fastball,
that's going to be trouble.
Fensky kicks. He fights off, finds an open spot right in front of Johnson out and left. So he does his job coming in off the bench cold. So now he's 2 for 4 on the season. And now he's watching. So it's a high fastball that he kind of fisted off, as they say. And, found a nice spot in front of Johnson. So now we got first and second with Harms on second, as he had an RBI single that plated Barry. And Fensky now, who was pinch hitting for Shackman, is sitting at first. Now it's going to bring up the catcher, Charlie Steffen. And he takes a big cut at a fastball. for strike one.
It's an opportunity to make a big inning out of this with only 1 out and 2 runners on base, including one in scoring position already.
Yeah, and I think, the tough thing probably for Baker as well is that he's kind of needed to keep, to try to keep this at bay because, it's taken him a little while to get their reliever ready, right?
Yep. And he is up in the bullpen again.
So 1-1's our count, 1 out here. Top of the 5th, fastball down the middle, ripped to right center, and this is going to be played by the right fielder, and a heck of a diving grab. And we got a tag play at third. Ooh, a chance for a double play ball. Nice grab, though, out in right field by Arndt as he played the win nicely. Didn't overcommit, came in under control to retire Stefan, but on that play, Harms with a nice heads-up play of tagging up. I think they're going to actually appeal if he left early, but I think they have to wait until time is obviously called. Baker's going to stay off the mound. And it was a legal take. I'll say this. All the baseball that I watched, played, and so forth, I always feel that you always have to have people with eyes on the guys that are taking, because there's a lot of times that the appeal could be used and isn't used, and you're potentially leaving it out on the field.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's hard on the umpires. I mean, when you have one guy out there trying to cover the entire infield, all 3 of the bags, it's difficult. You have to be on top of your game.
Yeah.
These guys do a great job. Don't get me wrong.
Absolutely.
But it is a good idea to make absolutely certain when those things take place.
Yeah, it's not the majors with 6 guys around and everybody's watching every base, right? So we got
nice.
got the left fielder up, number 22, Matt Haig, as we watch Baker try to pick off Fenske at first. So you got Fenske at first. We got 2 down here. Fenske at first as he found a base hit out in left field, kind of found that no man's land in front of Johnson. And then you got Harms who had the RBI single that brought in Barry to plate the 6th run of the game for the Wildcats at third. Fastball swung on a miss, and then we got a little hot box action. We're going to try to get that run in, which they do. Harms scores, and then doing so we'll see how long that Fenske wants to stay in the hot box. So that's going to keep Haig at the plate, but all in all, they still get that extra run, which they wanted, as we're going to see the replay. And you can kind of tell right away from the beginning there that Fenske was just kind of doing a delayed steal, and he was going to get in the hot box unless they just let him take the base.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question. That was a designed play on their part.
Yep.
And Lakeville North obviously wanted to focus on getting that out. Could have tried to come home when the Harms broke from third base, but that was by design. There's no accident to that, and he did his job. Stayed in between guys until his teammate was able to get across, and that run counts because it was plated before the third out was made.
Absolutely. And like I said, that's going to keep Haig up. So, yeah, they had 3 runs on 4 hits there. Nobody was left on, obviously, as Harms scored and Fenske was tagged. But, hey, hats off to Fenske, right? I mean, comes in with a pinch hit, fights off an inside high fastball, finds a base hit, and then also does his job on the bases to bring in Harms. And as we talked about before, with this game kind of going back and forth, every run's going to matter today. And that's what we're kind of seeing here early on. And as we're going to see here, so as we can watch, the nice thing with Harms is he just breaks right away, right? He doesn't get down the line and kind of play that, Fred Astaire with his feet, right, and tap dance around. At some point, you just got to go, right? Because what will happen is
and just took off.
Well, what you see a lot of times is that guy in third, he gets about 10 feet off the base, but he gets stuck there, and he keeps trying to inch. And then all of a sudden, that's when they throw it behind him at third, and then he's out. So with that being said, we got the bottom of the 5th here. Barry's still on the mound. And I think we have the catcher up, if I'm correct. Yes, we do. Number 9, who's having a nice day at the plate, Tyler Wambacher. What's he doing at the plate today, Blair?
3, 4, and 5 coming up. He's gotten on base via a walk in the first and was hit by a pitch in the third inning. That was the 3-2 fastball in the shoulder.
Yeah, absolutely. Barry just misses on the outside corner, so we got a 1-1 count. And actually, Barry's asking if that was a ball or a strike. So 1-1 count. And as we mentioned, too, Wambacher's been on twice, and that's brought Nia up, and he's pinch ran and scored 2 runs. So for Lakeville, it's get Wambacher on, and you're going to get a run. You're 2 for 2 today.
That's so far that's been the way it's worked.
Absolutely.
See if it happens again.
2-1, curveball in. So now we got a 3-1 count. So, Barry obviously had the big triple, so the emotions were up after that. But he also had to sit in the dugout for a while. So we'll see if he can kind of work off some of this rust. There's that outside fastball on the knees.
Nice pitch.
Great pitch to Wambacher. Wambacher's got a little bit of an open stance, so in theory you would think that hitting fastballs in the outside corner is probably where you want to go. He comes in with a fastball, bleeds it in, and drops right in front of the right fielder, Sam Schachman. So Schachman, I think, maybe got a little confused on that one because I don't know if he got caught up trying to thinking if he needed to dive or not, but in doing so, Wambacher gets on base for the third time, and once again we have Matt Nia going to be pinch running.
Here's that man again.
Absolutely. Now, we'll have to watch, too, with Nia is if they'll send him or get him in motion here. They do have their heart of their lineup up, as we see as Bayless comes up the DH. 7-4 is our score, bottom of the fifth. First pitch, fastball down the middle.
Yeah, that was my best and your best right there.
Yeah.
Good swing on a good pitch.
Bayless also a senior. Looks like he's an outfielder when he's not DHing. Niha's taking kind of a gentle lead. Curveball fouled away. But I'm interested to see if they're going to try to send him. Maybe not being down 3. It might not want to be too aggressive, especially early on. Nobody out.
Right.
Plus, you got your studs up. You got your 4 or 5 hitters here. 0-2 count. Barry's pitch, curveball, flipped up, and going to be foul back to the crowd here. Who's got it? Okay, nobody. All right. I have some snacks in my bag, Blair. I would have given him a granola bar if they'd have caught it, cleanly.
All kinds of fields I've gone to over the years where you get a quarter or a bag of popcorn when you bring back a foul ball.
Absolutely. Give it to a kid, let him go get a quarter.
Yep.
I call that good karma. Then you go buy a lottery ticket. 0-2's our count here.
Or just sit and eat your popcorn and watch a good game.
There's a hot shot down the line by Bayless. So Barry had him 0-2 and hung a curveball with a hot shot by Bayless down the line. So now you got guys on first and second, which is the pinch runner Nia and Bayless. And then you have coming up here now the third baseman, which is Garrett Long. And as you can see here, just left it up and a curveball close to getting it was our third baseman Reuter. But too good of a pitch on 0-2. And that's what and Barry knows it, and the coaches know it, and everybody knows it. Just 0-2 to your number 4 hitter is that's not where you want to put it.
That's not what you want to feed that guy in that situation. No, because you get the result that we got right there. So
pitching coach Tom Buski is out to chat with Barry a little bit, but Barry's been, like I said, as we talked about it, Blair, Barry after that first inning has been really solid. Even the inning in the third when they gave up that one run, it was hard to blame that inning, blame that run on him as they came in on a pass ball, and at that time, Stefan just couldn't get in front of that outside fastball that brought him in on the the wild pitch that Nia scored from third. So Barry has been able to buckle down. So we'll see what he can do here now as we got the number 5 hitter, which, like I said, which is our third baseman, number 21, Garrett Long.
He hasn't been quite as dominant as Baker has. He's only got 3 strikeouts so far in this game.
Yep.
But he has done exactly what he needed to do by and large. Keep guys in check, keep balls on the ground. Good outing so far, but he's in a little bit of a jam here now.
Yep. So we got Nia on second, Bayless on first, as that fastball misses outside for ball 1. 1-0's our count. 7-4 is our score here, bottom of the 5th. We're here at Lakeville North. We got a little feline competition in the jungle between the Wildcats and the Panthers, as the Panthers are looking to pounce and prawl, I guess. I'm using all my grade school lingo, when you learn animals.
Yeah.
And then also you got the Cougars. So, this is like, Lakeville is just the feline nation, I guess. All right, 2-0's our count as Barry comes in for a curveball that just misses low. Looked pretty close. We have the third baseman, Garrett Long, is up.
This is a 3-0 count with 2 runners on and nobody out. I would expect he's going to be taken all the way here.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't even need to really play with the runners. Okay, gets a generous call. Gets a generous call on the old 3-0. At least one that the umpire had to just kind of make sure that it was where he thought it was. Okay, so 3-1's our count. As we watch Barry pitching here to Long as a fastball down the middle. There's this ground ball that you want right up the middle. Bobbled, but they're going to get one. some kind of rough hops here today over at short, but Martin is able to at least get his glove in front of it, knock it down. Maybe pulled his head just, maybe he was thinking the double play just a tad early, but in doing so, still got it over to Amon for the out. So 1 out, you got runners on first and third. Nia is on third, Long is on first. Now we're going to go through our signs here for first and third, but you have the first baseman now batting, which is number 3, Joe Grillo. On the day, what's Grillo been doing?
Grillo is grounded out to first and struck out swinging in his first 2 at-bats.
So he got 1 down. Obviously, Barry once again is looking to coax a ground ball to the infield. And you know what? In this scenario, too, I mean, if you can just get a force out, if you have to give up the run at third, they will gladly take that.
That would be okay, wouldn't it?
All right, so we got Barry with his battery mate, which is Stefan behind the plate. Here's his first pitch to Grillo. Grillo fouls away down the line to the dugout. Came in, looked like a little slider, low and in. Seven 4 is our score. Eagan out hitting Lakeville North 9-7, and we're still clean with no errors on the field. So we'll get a pop-up, coaxes a pop-up. Looks like Barry's going to take this one himself, and he does. So a big pitch. And that was a big at-bat right there with Grillo. And now everybody's staying where they are. Still got the pinch runner for Wambacher at third, which is Nia. And you still have Long at first. That's going to bring up the second baseman, Josh Haugen.
That is a big out for the Wildcats right there.
And looks like Haugen's consistently been grounded to third, or to Liam at short, twice 6 threes.
Correct.
All right, first pitch from Barry, and he's actually going to just take a little look over at Long, make sure that he's not able to get a big lead, big jump, which obviously is a smart play too. You keep the force alive, and you don't potentially have guys on second and third. Still a little action over in the Eagan bullpen, but Barry's been strong here, like we said, ever since that first inning. There he gets a nice curveball on the inside corner to drop in on Haugen. Interested to see if they maybe put Long in motion at some point. I don't know if they want to play the hot box game. There's a ball hit down the line, foul. Just to get to give up the inning to get 1 run. In the 5th inning here, you can't. That's maybe more of a 3rd, 4th inning move, right?
Yeah, they've got a lot fewer options now with an 0-2 count, though.
But the one thing I guess you have to remember too is they're getting down towards the bottom of their lineup, so you never know.
Yep.
Never know. 0-2's our count. Barry with the curveball, and wow, nice piece of hitting by Haugen as he goes down and flips it to center. Big throw though from center, knocked down by the third baseman, Reuter. So Haugen comes through on an 0-2 pitch, and we're gonna watch the replay there. He hung that curveball, and Haugen flipped it to center nicely. That's second time here, and I know the coaching staff will be a reminder to Lincoln, but second time with big base hits on 0-2 counts. So now we're going to go, once again, we're going to go through the first and third calls. We have 2 down here. Lakeville plates their 5th run, and once again, Nia, 3 for 3. You get him on base, he scores a run. I tell you what, go to the bank, go to Vegas, go wherever you want to bet it, bet your neighbor. He will score.
That's a guy that needs to buy a lottery ticket tonight.
Yeah. First pitch by Barry, nice outside fastball in the outside corner. And this is Johnson. Nolan Johnson, the left fielder.
Struck out and grounded out so far.
Yeah, and as we've talked too, I mean, the top 5 hitters have done most of the damage. Nice job by Stefan of blocking that, being a brick wall, dropping down to his knees. But, for the most part, what we've seen today is Lakeville North's gotten, most of the base runners, most of their hits have been the top 5 hitters for the most part. Whereas Eagan has been a little bit more spread out through their lineup. All right, 1-1's our count, 2 down, 7-5's their score. There's a curveball. He gets a little grounder to Amon, and gets past Amon. So the slow roller, but obviously Amon was playing a shift because it was a lefty, gets underneath his glove, and in doing so, that brings in Long, and it's a 7-6 game. And here's our replay. Nice job of sitting back on it, and Amon just had a little too much real estate to cover, like I said, as he was shifted over because it was a lefty. It would have been a tough play either way. I mean, I think the only play he would have had is if he could have flipped it to Liam at second. I mean, he wasn't going to be able to get up and turn and throw to first. So they get to Barry with the 2 outs, and obviously the one pitch that he'll be remembering is that 0-2 pitch that Haugen had, the big hit up the middle.
Yep.
So now we have a pitching change, which is going to be Ryan Danich. And he was the one that obviously was warming up in the bullpen a couple times the last maybe 2 innings. So the book isn't fully closed on Barry, as we still have some runners on bases. But all 6 runs are earned. Don't know a whole lot about our reliever here, Danich. I guess I haven't seen him, and I don't recall him from 2019. Big over-the-top curveball, it looks like. And Lakeville North is going to be sending up their number 9 here, which is their center fielder, Mr. Brodeen, Ryan Brodeen.
Yeah, Brodeen has a walk and a ground out so far this game.
Okay. I mean, obviously, as you know, right, the biggest thing coming in out of the bullpen, right, just get that first pitch over for a strike, right? Because there's a good chance that Brodeen is going to be sitting back and at least taking a strike, unless it's a fastball down the middle. So obviously you don't want to do that. But, you know, that's where you get your confidence, right? You got to come in, throw a strike right away. You got your defense behind you. You still have the lead.
All that's correct. And when you're coming up in a situation like this as a hitter, you do want to make that guy give you at least 1 strike to start.
Yep, absolutely. So we got runners on first and second. You got Haugen, who had the RBI single on that 0-2 pitch. He's at second. You got Johnson, who's at first, who had that slow roller up the middle that got past Amon. Here's our first pitch from Danich. There it is, the high fastball that gets by Brodeen. So just like we talked about, wasn't down the middle, came in with a fastball, something that he felt comfortable with.
Yeah, Brodeen gave him a little more help there than he probably needed to.
Yeah, that was up around the shoulders probably. So second pitch here, fastball out. 1-1's our count, 2 down. We are in the bottom of the 5th with a 7-6 score with Eagan up here early on, or getting towards the end of the game, I guess. But Haugen on second, Haugen on second, Johnson on first, as we see off-speed swung on and missed by Brodeen.
Really nice curveball right there. A lot of downward travel on that pitch.
Yeah, absolutely. You can tell he really gets on top of that curveball, really snaps it down. It looks like it's about 11-5 curveball. There it is. Just doesn't get the call. Just a tad up, it looked like. Tad up. I would probably say his curveball not fully 12-6, but maybe a little more 11-6 as we watch this replay. Just missed it. Might have actually been maybe a little bit more out than up, right? Yeah. I thought it was a little up. So 1-2's our count, almost gets the pickoff, which is a quick move because Johnson didn't even have that big of a lead over there.
Now the first baseman was playing behind the runner. He didn't expect anybody to be coming his way, and that almost cost him there.
Yep. 1-2's our count. Danich coming in for relief for the starter Lincoln Berry. Hanging curveball fouled away by Brodeen. 2 down. I guess we believe it's 1-2 because we're
2-2.
2-2, okay.
Yep.
All right, 2-2's our count. Looks like they're playing him pretty much straight up. We got Martin kind of playing hugging second base a little more than normal on lefties. Big curve, strike 3. Catches it on the outside corner and probably the knees because that one looked like it was right where he wanted to look, a little low. We're going to watch this replay. Big curveball over the top. Oh, yeah, crosses it. Yep, right about the knees. So
really nice pitch.
Absolutely. So Danich does a job, comes in. And after 5, it is 7-6 Eagan as we go to break.
For me to get tested every 2 weeks so that I can have a graduation this spring is most important to me.
For my sport, so that I'll be able to participate and compete.
Because I want to be on stage for my senior year musical and prom and graduation.
This program to get students testing when they're asymptomatic increases the likelihood that we catch some of that very small percentage of students that test positive and eliminate the huge disruption for that co-curricular activity or that school day.
I don't want to be a community spreader, so coming to the Armory, getting a free test has been easy. And it makes sure that I'm staying safe as well as keeping my friends safe.
We want to be back in person, and we need to work together to get to that point.
During the COVID-19 pandemic, parents have kept their children home to keep them safe. As a result, pediatric visits and vaccinations have been missed. Although the COVID-19 vaccine is not yet available to children.
All right, here we're back, top of the sixth. We got a new pitcher here, Caleb Hurd, a junior, one of the two juniors, as he comes in with a fastball in the outside corner. Hurd was the one that was warming up throughout the game a couple different times, and then our batter here is going to be the left fielder, Matt Haig. Well, how's Haig been doing today here, Blair?
Well, let's see. Matt's had a single his last time up, and he popped out to the third baseman his initial time up.
All righty. 0-1's the count. Here's that pitch. Fastball's up. So 1-1's our count. It's a 7-6 game. Eagan is leading. We're here in the top of the sixth here at Lakeville North High School. Both teams have 9 hits. Eagan's stolen a few more bases, but it's been a clean play game with no errors. As you see, a fastball fouled straight back. So 1-2's our count. Hurd's doing a nice job coming in right away, throwing strikes. Doesn't look like he's going to necessarily overpower people, but looks like he's kind of going to work placement and probably some off speed. So I think I would be guessing off speed here for Haig if I was up.
And you would have guessed right.
So yeah, Haig catches that curveball that hung up there, but couldn't get it barreled up as he flies it out to the center fielder Brodeen for the first out of the inning. And in doing so, now we're going to have the pitcher is going to be batting, which is Ryan Danich. So what that's going to mean is that they took out Reuter, Barry went to third, and Danich is now batting in the 9 spot. So Danich coming up for the first time here today. Hey, and we're going to get our first time of dusting off home plate, too. You really know that spring's around when that happens. Okay, so I'm going to try to get you a stats on Danich. He looks like he is, he's 0 for 3, so he's looking for his first hit of the year. He's got a walk. 1 out here in the top of the 6. And there's a nice curveball by Hurd. So Hurd's doing a nice job mixing it up. Last time he went first pitch fastball. This time he went first pitch curveball.
Yeah, he's a pretty tall, angular kid. I think you're going to see lots of different locations and lots of different arm slots.
Yep, as it comes with another curveball. He's got a little bit more of a, what I'd say like an 11-4 kind of curveball. So 0-2, 1 down. First at bat of the day for Danich, who came in relief of Barry. Barry moved over to third. There's another curveball fouled away. Over towards the truck. I'll tell you what, with that background noise, it sounds like there's about 200 people here.
Well, the dugout got really excited about that foul ball for some reason.
I was going to say so. 0-2 is our count as we watch Hurd to Danich. Fastball fouled away. So Danich coming in cold, first at bat of the day, doing a nice job though of keeping and lengthening out this at bat. And I will say that's one thing that I was impressed with Eagan is their discipline at the plate, especially after that first inning against Baker. 0-2, 1 out. Here's a pitch from Hurd. High fastball popped up, coming almost towards us.
I was going to say, that's for you.
Ready. I was ready. I have to protect the sound equipment first, right?
Throw yourself on the router.
Eagan TV, they know where I work since I work in the same building as them. They just send me a bill. They send the bill up to the second floor at Thomson Reuters to me. All right, here, 0-2's our count. There's another curveball low. So Danich doing a nice job here of fouling off what he doesn't want. Nice and comfortable on the plate. As we mentioned, this is looks like it's about his 5th at-bat in the season. Hurd has gone, I think, curveball other than 1 pitch this at-bat. Here's another curve up the middle. Nope, going to be played backhand by the second baseman for the out, and that was an interesting play by Haugen. Haugen looked like he could have taken another step or two, but he just wanted to show off his backhand. So we're going to watch this replay.
Yeah, he decided that he was exactly where he needed to be to field that ball, no matter where it was going to go.
Absolutely. Like I was saying, that was a little go-go gadget arm, right? Just I think I want to show my backhand off, show it works. Alrighty, so we got 2 down here. Now we're going to get back to the top of the lineup as Alex Lockenmeyer comes up, who's our center fielder today. Curveball low.
Lockenmeyer's had a tough go of it today. He's struck out looking, struck out swinging, but he did have a single in the first inning.
Yep, single and a stolen base in the first. 1-0's our count. 2 outs here. Fastball in the outside corner for a strike. 1-1 now is our count. 2 down, 7-6, Eagan leading Lakeville North. Lockenmeyer on the season, 5 for 11, 4 singles, 1 double. Here's a pitch from Hurd. Inside fastball gets it in there. So I think that was about the first time I've seen Hurd kind of come inside and everybody. He's been working everybody away and low, especially with that curveball. That time he brings the fastball in. So 1-2's our count, 2 down. Top of the 6th, fastball fouled straight back. And you know what? I will say this too. I've kind of noticed with Hurd here is it looks like he's even kind of changing his speed on his fastballs. I mean, it's not like he's throwing a true changeup, but like on that one, on a 1-2 pitch, you could tell he reached back a little bit more than he had in previous at bats. Curveball swung on and missed by Lockenmeyer, and Hurd does his job of coming in and getting a 1-2-3 inning. So for Eagan, it was 3 up and 3 down. Nobody left on base as we watch this replay of another nice curveball, maybe his best curveball of the day, and a nice job by Wambacher of just blocking it up.
And Bottom really dropped out of that pitch.
Absolutely.
For the Wildcats in the 6th, 3 up, 3 down.
A little message from the Minnesota State High School League. It reminds us that the educational value of this event is more important than its outcome. Respect for others, including opponents and officials, is one of those values. Support today's teams with respect that they deserve. So we want to say thank you from the Minnesota State High School League. And you know what? I'm bet you these coaches are saying thank you to them almost every night that they're actually able to play ball this year, because I can't imagine, Blair, I'm sure you talk to many other parents and you have kids. I can't imagine, not being able to play your sophomore, junior, senior year of spring ball. So I'm just so very happy that we're here. People are playing, people are staying safe, and we're and also very thankful that Eagan TV's being able to put this out there for everybody to see.
Well, it's it's the seniors from last year's class that obviously you hurt for the most.
Absolutely.
But not being able to play, was hard on all of these kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I have a son who's still playing in college, and they lost their season after 7 games, and it's it's not fair. It's not right. It's nothing good. So the fact that everybody's back on the field and able to do the things that we love,
it's a beautiful thing. It's
a
tough
thing.
life lesson. It's a life lesson. It's just it's an unfair one, right? So, all right, here we go. We got bottom of the 6th inning. Egan's up 7-6. We got the leadoff hitter up, Mr. Tanner Orecchio, who had a triple earlier. Played some nice plays in the field at short. He's only a sophomore, folks, so if you're in this conference, you're going to be seeing him for a couple years as he takes that curveball from Danish on the outside corner for a strike. Like we said before, Blair, it was an excellent piece of hitting, going with that pitch on the outside corner as that one goes low, his last at-bat, and kind of found that, like we said, we thought that the wind held that ball up, and he was thinking 3 from the beginning.
Yeah, he was head down and he was going the whole time, and that's that's the way you want to do it.
Absolutely.
We always try to teach kids from little on up. Every time you hit the ball, you run it out, you run it hard. You don't anticipate or guess that anything's going to happen. You just kind of react to what takes place on the field, and that got him a triple on that particular at bat.
Absolutely. So Danish now up 1-2 with 2 nice outside curveballs. This time he goes with a fastball outside to see if Recchi will chase. 2-2's the count. But Danish is doing an excellent job of coming in and doing a job. He's been around the dish. I feel like the only time that he's really been a little, 5-6 inches away is on purpose. And now he gets the curveball. Nice job by Recchio following it away. 2-2's the count. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th. Once again, it's 7-6 score as Eagan, who is 3-1, is leading Lakeville, who is 2-2 on the season. So, like we said, this is 2 teams that are going to be probably be there at the end of the year, and very well are going to be facing each other, maybe again in the playoffs for a 3rd time. Recchio working the count now to 3-2, and obviously Danish wants to keep him off because I know they're worried about his speed on the bases. And there's the pitch. He drops one off the table for a curveball on the inside corner.
Beautiful pitch, beautifully placed.
Recchio wants that one back.
and he came with it exactly when he needed it.
Number 11.
Wow. Yeah, that was right on the inside corner. Actually looked like Recchio, if he really wanted to, could have tried to throw his right chicken wing out there to get that on base on that beanball. First pitch is hit down the line and foul on a curveball. And now we have the right fielder, number 11, Will Arndt. Arndt's had a good day. He's been on the base a few times, right? Or at least the first inning he was.
Arndt had a single in the first inning, and then he's flied out to right and popped out to the second baseman.
All righty. 0-1's our count, 1 down. Danish doing a nice job pitching. Big curveball swung on, fouled away. So, I would say that early on that he's looking like he's 70-30. I mean, it looks like he's about 70% curveball and 30 on the fastball, 30% fastball.
Curveball definitely looks like his bread and butter.
Yeah,
pitch.
that's his out pitch. Then he's getting ahead on him. He's throwing it first pitch to people. So there's a fastball on an 0-2, just seeing if he can get Arndt to swing at. 1-2's our count, 1 out. Here in the bottom of the 6th. Lovely day, about 62 degrees. Winds actually kind of calmed down a little bit from the start of the game. Here's Danich's pitch, curveball hit towards short, right to Martin. Martin fields it cleanly and gets it over to Harms. Martin's got a strong arm as well. So now we got 2 down, and that'll bring up the man that's been on base all day. And here's our replay. Just a routine ground ball, but a nice job of fielding it up front. Gathers and strong throw. Liam's got a strong arm. Tyler Wambacher, the catcher, senior.
If Wambacher gets on base again here, this is really going to test our theory about the courtesy runner, because he'll get on base with 2 outs.
Absolutely. First pitch is swung on. Looks like it was off speed, and wow, only about 3 feet foul. So I think that even surprised Wambacher, because he really wasn't planning on running on that one. Yeah, this is our theory. So Wambacher's been on base all 3 times. Then he's been pinch ran by the senior who plays second and pitches, Matt Neha, and Neha's scored all 3 times. So I think the coaching staff of Eagan says we need to just get this guy out. I don't care if there's 2 outs. We need to get him out.
Yeah, but you can't even give him an intentional walk this way.
Exactly. Fastball in the inside corner is fouled straight back. So 0-2. So now this will be kind of the interesting. I'm curious to see what Danich does here. Do you go high fastball? Do you try to blow fastball outside? Or do you go back to kind of his out pitch, which is a curveball? 0-2 pitch. Curveball. Wambacher actually still gets the barrel on it decently, but Lockenmeyer has to only take about 2 steps to his left and makes the play. So big inning once again by Danich, and actually does a nice job of going through the top of the lineup. Gets the first three hitters out successfully, and now after 6 innings, it's still Eagan 7-6 as Lakeville North went up 3 down. As we watch this replay. Wambacher did a good job of keeping his weight back. Still got the barrel on it, but just not enough. Even whether you had wind or not, right?
Yeah, and that was probably not the pitch that he really would rather have hit. But when you're in the hole 0-2, you have to protect and you have to take what's presented to you. He actually got it out there a pretty decent distance out in center field, because he's a good.
He's a strong kid.
Big, strong kid.
Yeah, absolutely.
But just not enough on a pitch with that kind of movement to it.
Yeah, well, no, for sure. I think too. I mean, that's a credit to Danich, right? Is Danich has been so consistent with that curveball, for basically not a full 2 innings, but an inning and 2/3, and the hitters know that. If it's going to be, he's been so consistent. I have to swing at anything close, especially with 2 strikes, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So I think that worked obviously in Danich's favor there. So we still have the reliever. This will be Hurd's now 2nd inning out as he replaced the senior Sam Baker, who did a nice job. He kept things at bay, and obviously the 5th inning, things got a little away from him. But in doing so, like you said, I mean, he still had, I think, 6 or 7 strikeouts?
7 strikeouts.
5 innings, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was an interesting outing for him. I mean, 1 inning each inning, for the first 4, but still throwing a lot of strikes and getting guys to strike out.
Yep.
A number of times. Only 2 walks.
Yeah.
But as you say, the 5th inning kind of did him in, unfortunately.
Yeah.
From Lakeville's perspective.
Yeah. Okay, so top of the 7th here. Top of the 7th. For Eagan, and that's going to bring up the 2nd baseman, Mason Amon. And Amon on the day, looking for his first hit and looking to get on base.
2 strikeouts and a fly out to left field, but this is the 3rd time this game that he's led off an inning.
And Amon shows bunt, a little safety kind of drag right there as he pops it up behind. So 0-1's the count. Hurd on the mound. Hurd and Wambacher are the battery right now for Lakeville North. Wambacher kind of likes to do that Tony Pena stance. Get 1 knee down to stay low. He's a big catcher, so I understand it. So that one's fouled away by Amon. So 0-2's the count. 7-6 our score. Eagan clinging on to a 1-run lead. Both teams have 9 hits. Still no errors on the board. So for an early game in the season, played cleanly. And there's Amon as he turns on one, and he does find himself on first base with a nice leadoff single. Off-speed pitch by Hurd.
Shortstop, Liam
Kept his
Martin.
hands back and flipped that one out to the right fielder, Arndt.
Nice piece of hitting and good to get that leadoff runner on here.
Absolutely. And there we see the replay. Yeah, kept his weight back. Nice piece of hitting. Flips it, goes with the pitch. And then now that's going to bring up the shortstop, number 3 hitter, Liam Martin. Amon got a big lead as we watch Hurd first time over to first. Liam's having a nice day at the plate, isn't he, Blair?
He is. He had a base on balls to start. He reached on a
single. We give that a single,
right? And another single after that in the 5th inning.
All right. So he shows. He shows bunt. Nice strong arm by Wambacher as he throws over to Grillo, but Amon still gets back in time.
So you're learning a little bit about the philosophy of the coaching staff here. You got nobody out.
Watch the replay.
You are looking at the number 3 hitter, but squared around a bunt here. Looks like they're really going to work hard to get that runner over to second base.
Yeah, well, you want to get that 2-run lead, right? There goes Amon, running against the wind a little bit. And Wambacher with his first time of the day as he punches out Amon at second. So here's our replay. Looks like it was a decent jump by Amon. I felt for him because it looked like he was running right against that wind a little bit there, but a great strong throw and actually tags him right on the foot right before he gets to the base. So 1-0's our count to Liam Martin. Curveball outside corner by Hurd is in there for a strike. 1-1 is our count now with 1 out as Amon was thrown out. First time today that Eagan has been thrown out on or second time technically being thrown out stealing. The first time though was more of a
the designed hot box over there. Mm-hmm.
Right. And I guess he had Lockenmeyer. That one I guess I wouldn't call stealing. That one was just more of a pitcher stepping off and catching him off guard. 2-2's our count, 7-6 our score. Egan's winning. Top of the 7th as Liam hits one to third, takes a big hop, and it gets past Long, goes out to left field. So Liam once again reaches base for the 4th time today, and that's going to bring up the pitcher that moved, our starting pitcher that moved over to third, which is Lincoln Berry, that had the big hit of the day. He kind of started the triple train because he had a triple, and then the bottom of that inning, I think then Recchio had his triple.
Lincoln Berry, third base.
So you're the official scorer. What are we going to give him on that?
Well, that one I think might be our first error of the day, unfortunately, because that one was pretty much hit right at him. That one wasn't as bad of a hop as Recchio had. Fastball's up. 1 ball is our count. Berry at the plate. Liam Martin at first. Once again, you got speed at first, so it'll be interesting to see if Coach Butler puts on any signs, whether it's the fake bunt steal, straight steal. Hurd's only thrown over once. Fastball ripped out to left by Berry. Berry's seen it well today and having a nice day at the dish. So now you got Martin and Berry on the bases, and now it's going to bring up first baseman Charlie Harms as we watch that replay. Nice job. Fastball, just went with it, found the hole.
Charlie Harms.
And Liam, like I said, Liam's having a heck of a year already at the dish.
Yeah, both of those guys. Nice hitting, nice
Or
job
Berry,
hitting the ball.
excuse me, yeah, Berry. Yeah, and we mentioned prior to this game, Berry had 1 of everything. So he's trying to get 2 of everything now.
Yeah, he's getting a little greedy now.
Yeah, he wants to get on Noah's Ark, get 2 of everything. Change up outside for a ball. 1-0's our count. 1 down here in the top of the 7th. We're at Lakeville North as Egan's leading 7-6. Teams are tied up. Well, actually, I think now Egan's up 10-9 in hits after Berry's base hit. And we got the first baseman, Charlie Harms, up. As he hits an off-speed pitch that's going to stay in play and at the last second dropped by Long. I think the wind got him a little bit there. I think he might have went down a little too early trying to corral that and try to, catch it in the basket per se.
And Long made a pretty circuitous route to get to where that ball was coming down. It looks like he overran it a little bit, heading toward the fence.
So 1-1's our count as we have Hurd pitching to Harms. And all of a sudden we're going to see the guys in motion. So Coach Butler does the double steal and picks the right time because it was an off-speed pitch that Wambacher had a hard time handling. So with that happening, as we watch the replay, Liam gets a good jump as Liam gets the third standing up and Berry follows at second base. So now we got corners up, and it looks like we're going to I would think that they're going to start bringing the middle infield in a little bit too. I mean, it doesn't really make any sense to have them play even.
No reason for them to play at double play depth. They should bring them all in. So they're going to give an intentional pass.
Now we understand why they didn't move those the middle in up. So the intentional walk is then given to Harms to obviously set up a force out anywhere. So now you have Liam Martin at third, Lincoln Berry at second, and Charlie Harms at first. One down here. For the most part, Hurd's been doing a nice job pitching. Didn't give up a run in the sixth. Been throwing strikes. And, obviously he was probably hoping that ground ball that was hit by Liam would have been, fielded cleanly by Long at third. So, with that being said, that's going to bring up the right fielder, Sam Shackman. And Shackman's trying to do some damage and blow this thing open. His first pitch, fastball, and he does. Flips it out to right. It's going to hang up just long enough for Arndt. And that's going to bring in not only Liam Martin to score for that 8th run, but that's going to send Barry over to third. So excellent piece of hitting by Chapman. Probably knew that he was going to come up there and see a fastball right away because obviously Hurd's trying to induce a double play ball. And he goes with that pitch and does a nice job of getting it out to the outfield and scoring Martin. And also on top of that, getting Barry over to third.
That is exactly what you would hope for that hitter to do in that situation. Obviously, you have to get it deep enough if you're going to hit it out to the outfield, which he did. You don't have to worry so much about your runner on first base advancing, but getting the run home from third and the other runner from second to third is exactly what you would hope for.
So we got 8-6 now with 2 down. We got Coach Tony Market. Looks like he's actually not Tony Market. It's one of the pitching coaches out there. Now you're gonna have first and third. So this is the classic, book review here, right? What happened the last time you were first and third, right? How are we gonna play this if once again they try to do the hot box again to try to get that all important 9th run in, right?
Yeah. And that's exactly what they were doing. They were just going over defense. This is the situation. This is what we're, thinking they might do. This is what we want to do.
I personally, with 2 outs, I would think this would just be like a pump fake by Wambacher and just take a look at third. I mean, there's no need to even throw it down to second, personally. So we got first and third, 2 down. First pitch is fouled back on a fastball from Hurd. And we have number 7, the catcher, Charlie Steffen up. How's Charlie been doing today?
Charlie singled in the second inning, his first time up, and has flyouts to both center and right field.
Alrighty, 0-1's the count, 2 down. Eagan leading 8-6, out hitting 10-9 over Lakeville North. Hurd, fastball, fouled away. As I said earlier, Hurd's done an excellent job of coming. I've been really impressed by both relievers for that matter. Hurd and Danich coming in right away, throwing strikes. They've stayed around the dish. To be honest, I don't think either of them have had a walk since they've came in. So.
Nope.
And with Eagan, we got Lincoln Berry on third, Charlie Harms at first as he was intentionally walked. And now we see the pass ball, and that is going to bring in the all-important 9th run. And actually, Harms is going to try to find his way over to third, and he does.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing you'll notice that we've noticed today is the aggressive base running by Eagan. Not always necessarily even as a plan play, as a steal call or whatever. It's just the kids on their own are knowing when to take extra bases. We had that errant pickoff throw that Liam went all the way from first to third. And then now we watch that one. I mean, it's rare to go from first to third on a pass ball by the catcher.
Yeah.
So 1-2's our pitch, just misses.
Yeah, some of that is that last play was, again, we've talked about it multiple times with all the space in foul ground here and all the distance between home plate and the backstop. But you're right. Yeah, the business of running bases is become kind of a lost art, and when you can instill in your guys and teach them to be aggressive on the base paths, you're basically putting pressure on the other defense. And
absolutely.
Once the more you can do that, the more likely they are to make mistakes, and you can take advantage of those.
Absolutely. 3-2 pitch by Hurd, fouled straight back by Steffen. So 3-2's the count, 2 down. We have Charlie Harms found his way all the way from first after being intentionally walked to fill the bases, and now he is over at third base. It's 9-6 game as Barry came in on that pass ball. And Hurd was going for that strikeout pitch. It just was a curveball that Wambacher had a hard time of corralling. So a nice at-bat there by Steffen as Steffen works that count from 1-2 all the way back to a walk. So now Steffen will probably be pinch ran for, it looks like. And that's going to bring up the left fielder, Matt Haig. And then our pinch runner, once again, will be Parker Fall. So this is the second time we've seen Parker pinch run for Steffen. So Fall's got some speed as well, so we'll be interested to see if they put him in motion or not. 2 down. You got the number 8 hitter up, and Matt Haig. How's Haig been doing today?
He has popped out to the third baseman, singled, and flied out to center field.
Okay, first pitch fastball. He pops up. I'm having a hard time seeing it here. Oh, and dropped over by the dugout by Long. So Haig gets new life. It's 0-1 is our count. 2 down. 9-6 is our score. Eagan out hitting Lakeville North 10-9. No errors for Eagan. 1 or 2, I guess, depending on how you want to call it, for Lakeville North. And then you have the pinch runner, Parker Fall, running for the catcher, Charlie Steffen. 0-1's our pitch. We got Hurd pitching to his catcher, Wambacher. Fastball in the inside corner is good. There's that pump fake we talked about as Fall takes second. Pump fake by Wambacher and thrown to third, but Harms saw that coming. 0-2's the count. So now in doing so, this is where Hay can be a hero. All it takes is one swing of the bat and you can put in 2.
Yeah, for Lakeville, you really hope that foul ball over here by the third base dugout, by the Eagan dugout that was dropped, doesn't come back to hurt you.
Right. 0-2, here's our pitch from Hurd, and he gets him on the curveball on the outside corner to Haig. So Eagan, though, takes advantage here in the top of the 7th as they kind of started the rally only after 1 out, really, after Amon got out. They took advantage of an error at third, and all of a sudden, before you know it, you saw Martin, Barry, or just get 2 there? Here you go, 3.
Now that inning really did turn pretty quickly,
Yeah.
because when Amon got caught stealing with nobody out, you kind of wondered if they were kind of overreaching a little bit. But then the error at third base, the single, and the intentional pass that was designed to make it so that you could get force outs anywhere, didn't end up working as well as Lakeville North had hoped.
Absolutely. All righty, here we go. Need a fun summer job? Egan's Cascade Bay is hiring. Serve your community, make friends, earn some money, and help create summer fun for everyone. Lifeguards, pool attendants, guest attendants, and ground attendants are some of the positions that are open. For more information on how to dive into the website at CascadeBay.com. And I want that mascot job. I think I want that one. I've never been to Cascade Bay, but I think I could be a good mascot for him. So, but Eagan does score 3, I believe. No, 2. Excuse me. That's where I was getting confused. Okay, Martin and Barry came around and scored. Harms was left at second. So yes, Eagan scored 2, left 2 on there. But obviously 2 huge runs. I mean, they would have been happy with 1. I think they were very ecstatic when Liam scored. But on that excellent job by Chapman, on that first pitch fastball that he took out to right field.
Yes.
To give him some breathing room. A 2-run lead is huge, and they were able to tack on 1 more. So Danich is going to be called upon here to finish here the 7th. Not a true 3-inning save, but he's close, right? I think he came in with 1 out. We see some geese getting away from the hunting season from us. Okay, so Lakeville North is going to send up their 4, 5, 6 hitters. So we got the DH. Alex Bayless is up. Number 10, first pitch from Danish is a fastball. Now, what you're probably going to see is, for the most part, even with the power of their lineup coming up, is, down 3, they're probably going to be taking a strike. So that's obviously a confidence for Danish, knowing that more than likely I can throw what I want for that first one. There's a curve on the outside corner once again.
Pitch.
I mean, he has just been on target today, especially with his off-speed. Like we said, probably more of a 70-30, 70% off-speed, 30% fastball. 0-2's our count here in the bottom of the 7th. Another curveball outside corner, and there it is. Pulls the string. Strikeout looking as he gets Bayless, which is a huge out as you take out the DH, the number 4 hitter, and the boys throw it around.
Yeah, that 0-2 count, Bayless had no idea what he was going to be seeing and no idea how to defend against it. And that was just a really nice pitch again.
Yeah.
So
just froze him.
Put him in a tough position.
Absolutely. So now that brings up number 5 hitter, which is the third baseman. There's a little high for a ball. Third baseman, number 21, Garrett Long. How's Garrett been doing today? He had 2 hits, right?
Garrett has 2 singles and reached a fielder's choice in the 5th inning.
Okay. So fastball outside. So 2-0's our count. 1 down here. Bottom of the 7th. We're here at Lakeville North. Casey Lux and Blair Bremley. And Eagan is leading Lakeville North 9-6 here in the bottom of the 7th. The 2-0 pitch is low once again. So having a little hard time with his fastball here, too long. But he's going to have a 3-0 get-over pitch here potentially as he waits, as Grillo waits on the on-deck circle. There's that fastball down the middle, so it's 3-1.
Taken all the way.
Yep.
As he should be.
Well, and some coaches would potentially put a take on here for, make him throw strike 2, Not necessarily, but some coaches might do that. And he's going to nick him. So hit by pitch is going to send Long to first. That's going to bring up the first baseman, number 16, Joe Grillo.
Well, Grillo has grounded out to first. A nice play to Barry.
Yep.
Struck out and popped up to the pitcher.
Okay. And I will tip my hat, though, to Grillo because he is bringing back the stirrups, and he likes hiking those pants up, too, the low stirrups. So Long's at first, Grillo's at the plate. Here's our first offering from Danish, curveball low. 1-0's our count here. 1 out, 9-6 is our score. Eagan Wildcats leading Lakeville North. Panthers. Lakeville trying to put together a late inning rally here as Danish has almost been untouchable here for the last 2 innings. There's a curveball over for a strike. 1-1's our count. As we said, Danish has done an excellent job coming in for Barry. Barry got a lot stronger after the first inning and really didn't pitch that bad of a first inning. They just kind of nickeled and dimed him a little bit. Curveball misses inside, so 2-1's our count. 1 down. First baseman, Joe Grillo. And
there's no bothering to look for signs down at the third base box. We're not in a position to put anything on. They just need base runners, need guys to put the ball in
outside corner, 2-2. We have Garrett Long, the third baseman, is on first. 1 down, 2-2's our count. As Danish is trying to put Grillo away to get closer to closing this game out. Gets a slow grounder. This is going to be a play at first for Amon as he flips it over to Harms. The smart play. Grillo retired. Long now in scoring position, but still down 3. 9-6 our score. 2 down, and that's going to bring up the second baseman, Josh Haugen. And Haugen's the one that had the big RBI single, I think, in what?
In the 5th inning.
Yeah, in Lincoln's last inning on the plate. Yeah, it was 0-2 curveball that he flipped out to center for a single. Fastball just misses low outside, but a nice first pitch. Danish is doing an excellent job of staying around the plate. I think he's really only had one at bat that I think he went 3-0 on, and that was too long that he ended up walking. There's a curveball outside. So 2-0. Long, the third baseman, at second, but the Panthers still down 3 here in the bottom of the 7th. 2-0's our count. Danish's pitch. Fastball's up to Haugen.
Taken all the way here again.
We got the left fielder, Nolan Johnson, on deck. 3-0, fastball down the middle for a strike. Two down. Third baseman Long at second. 9-6 their score. Fastball hit, popped up. This should be in play. As Barry makes the one-handed grab off to the side. But you know what? You can't laugh because get that ball up in the wind there, and it's going to be a lot more tricky than you think. And actually, he didn't even try to, but the hat came off, so that might have helped him out there. But Barry kept his ground, didn't overrun it, and just caught it off to the side. And that's one of those that you just catch it. It's okay if it's not a two-hand grab. But all the way in the end, a nice play by Barry. He starts the game on the mound and then ends the game with a big out. We're going to come back for a – oh, no, we're not done yet. Okay, we're almost done. Okay, well, anyways, from Blair and I, this is Casey Lux and Blair Bremley. 9-6 was our score. Eagan beating Lakeville North, and Eagan moves to 4-1, and Lakeville North moves to 2-3. What do you got for a little quick recap for us, Blair?
Well, the Wildcats have had a good start to the season. Now the trick is to keep things going, and as long as they continue to play like they have been, be strong with the defense. They hit the bats going today as well. Good pitching also is a solid part of the equation. They'll continue to have good success, I expect.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm going to tell you one more time, just so you guys remind everyone, if you're enjoying ETV, make sure to follow them on Twitter, Facebook, and subscribe on YouTube. visit Eagan-TV.com. So here from Lakeville North, the Eagan Wildcats moved to 4-1 on the year. They're fired up. It's a 9-6 victory over Lakeville North. For Blair Bremley and for Casey Lux, we'd like to say thank you for checking us out and have a wonderful evening.